Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
She's gonna sit through a couple of videos today.
I'm gonna do it. I can make it.
Well, Barbie is bringing her out. We're gonna talk about Barbie, the Barbie movie, and how Hollywood is furious that Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig didn't get nominated, but Ryan Gosling apparently did.
The song did, yeah.
The song did for an Oscar. Now, it did get nominated for Best Picture, I thought, too.
Yeah, it got several nominations. It got nominated for Best Picture. It got nominated, the girl, America Ferrera, who, what was her character, Gabby or whatever?
I
she
didn't
got
watch
nominated. And I don't know if it was for her stupid monologue or what. I mean, the monologue had some points, but it was also not... I'm just going to be honest. None of this is Oscar worthy. I'm sorry. I've seen it. It's not.
Yeah, let's talk about this. Now, Geeky is probably going to have a lot more to say. I still have not seen the Barbie movie. She saw it with Pinky Boo. You girls were disappointed, and you're both Barbie fans.
I think that it is part of a good movie. I think there's good elements to it. I think there's things I like about it. That being said, I think that they totally dropped the ball when they decided to make it about the patriarchy, and then there was teachable moments they could have had, and then they still just stuck their foot in that. And I don't know. I did a video on it before. I'll mention it throughout. But yes, I have thoughts.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants. Guys, can you muster up a woohoo today?
Woohoo!
Geeky has been sick the last couple days with vertigo.
I have vertigo. So it's been a ride. So
there you go.
It has been something.
It's like roller coaster Barbie every day.
Yeah.
They have a roller coaster Barbie?
I don't think so. But my brother used to build my Barbie's roller coasters out of his constructs.
Okay, did the track actually finish, or was it like when Squid King and I would play Thrillville and he would just make the track end?
No, he had good, he was really good at it. He'd make like Ferris wheels and stuff and they would actually work.
Wow.
He was actually really good at it. So he would make the rides and we put the Barbies on it.
Okay, well, Barbie's been through it this year. Again, I have not seen the movie. Now, I've heard from some men who have seen the movie that their takeaway was actually it was a men's rights movie.
Honestly,
ironically
that's
enough,
how it seemed.
because it was basically about Ken being oppressed by Barbie, and he comes into his own, and then he still gets oppressed at the end.
That's basically how it did come across. Now, it had moments of things like. It started out really great. Like my Pinky Boo was all excited when it started. She's like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun." She goes to the real world. We're like, "Oh my gosh!" And everybody's like, "She of course is Barbie. She's being nice to everyone, talking about seeing the beauty in everything, and beauty in people who would not normally see themselves as beautiful." It was really really cool. Then she meets the one Gabby's daughter, I think that was the character's name, and the daughter was a complete little bitch. And like says that does the whole, Barbie makes women feel bad about themselves and all that bullshit that I absolutely am so tired of hearing because you can't have it both ways. And then you go from like these good messages, and she wants to be her own person, and maybe Ken is just, you're Ken because you're just you. You don't have to be connected to me. And there was good messages there. But anything that you think that they're going to have, like they're learning a lesson, they get to the end and they're talking about, hey, maybe we shouldn't oppress the Kens because that's not fair.
Right.
And then they have the narrator said, well, then maybe someday the Kens will have almost as much power as the women in our world. And I think that's a couple things that are bullshit. One, you just threw away the entire message you could have had. Two, that implies that women in our world have no power at all, which is a load of shit. I mean, to be fair, that women usually aren't treated the same way in some situations, not all situations. But there are women who are still, in charge of countries that are still, on the Supreme Court. It belittles the achievements of women in some way by saying that. And I was like, what the fuck? You literally had the perfect setup for a lesson right there and that could be the perfect message. And you done fucked it up to be like, but women are wicked at worse than men. And I was like, way to go.
Okay, are you done because a man wants to speak now?
Well,
no, I'm kidding.
I'm just busy oppressing you. Know your place.
I am oppressed. No. I know my place. I do know my place.
I did love this image.
My place is underneath you.
Sometimes.
Anyway,
that's what I prefer.
Whoa, hey. Let's talk about.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. What are you talking about? Let's talk about this. This is a meme that Aaron Sparrow posted. Now, for those of you who don't get the meme, this is actually on the poster. She's everything and he's just Ken. Because Ken doesn't have a job. You never see like vet tech Ken or, even Uber driver Ken or,
No, every job the women were done by women in Barbie world, and Kens were just at the beach just to be the arm candy for the Barbies.
So he's an Oscar nominee, and she's just Barbie. She's just Barbie, and she's crying. So yeah, it did get a bunch of nominations. I got nominated for Best Picture. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at.
I know, but I don't see why. I mean, Godzilla -1 didn't get nominated for Best Picture, but this did?
Godzilla -1, I think it just got like special effects or something, which is like, I mean, it was actually, as far as the acting and the story goes, it was probably the best acted and the best story ever in a Godzilla movie.
It had actual social ramifications and things.
Yes, it was an excellent movie, and the actors were fantastic. And yeah, but whatever. Special effects are good. Monster smash.
But okay, but that aside, besides the fact that I think it doesn't deserve to be Best Picture. Besides that, I know a lot of people disagree with me, and you are allowed. If you loved it, that is cool. You are allowed to like it. I don't care. I'm just telling you what I thought about it. But I don't think it was Best Picture worthy. That being said, it did get Best Picture nomination. It has gotten several nominations.
8 nominations.
Right. They even changed a category that knocked out another film for nomination just to let Barbie be in it. So it seems like they might have possibly made other changes to get Barbie more nominations, and they're mad because they didn't get Best Director and Best Actress, but they got a bunch of other ones.
Well, what they're mad about is Ryan Gosling got Best Supporting Actor for Ken.
And the song, I'm Just Ken got picked too, apparently.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, Greta Gerwig should have got Best Director. I don't think so. I don't think any more than anybody else. It's like the Super Mario movie should got Best Director. It's not like a Academy Award winning level of filmmaking.
But it still got nominated. Now, do I think it's going to win Best Picture? No, I do not. I think it's going to be Killers of the Flower Moon.
But did you see that? Speaking of Killers of the Flower Moon, they said, this is from Deadline, they said the biggest blockbuster of 2023 got a Best Picture nod as well as a Best Adapted Screenplay. The late Academy decision to put the script in that category, even though it was a wholly original take by Greta Gerwig and Noah Baumbach, probably knocked out Killers of the Flower Moon from the category they actually should have been in.
Yeah.
So they adjusted things to let it count in something it probably wouldn't have counted in normally.
Well, that's why I don't understand why this would be adapted, because it is based on the toy line loosely, but it is an original story. So I don't understand why they would make it, unless they don't want to give it like, maybe the Academy's even like, yeah, it's a Barbie movie. Like, how do we do this?
They put them in Best Picture. I don't think it should have been Best Picture.
No,
there's a lot of blockbuster films that were the highest grossing movie of the year that don't ever get up for awards, because it was more because they would always argue that it was more of a mass appeal movie than a nuanced one, and they usually go for nuanced people playing nuanced roles and things like that. I don't think that it deserves awards, and I sure as hell don't think it. I don't know why Ryan Gosling got it for Best Supporting Actor, and I sure as hell don't understand why America Ferrera got it for Best Supporting Actress or whatever it was. I don't get it, because I don't see anything in their performances that were so moving, and I can see her before I can see him.
They have to give it a nod, because there was outrage when the Golden Globes or one of the awards that basically got locked out. Barbie got snubbed completely, and there was outrage on social media, and now everyone's outraged that Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie did not get nominations themselves, but Ken did. Even though Ryan Gosling was kind of like, yeah, it was a group effort and whatever. But
I don't understand any of it personally. I don't get it.
Because it's a feminism movie. That's basically it. It's a feminism movie.
I say it's a matriarchal movie, is what it is. And I'm like, I thought, if the message had been, she comes to our world, and then they have to send her. They're trying to send her back, but she's like doing a lot of good in this world and teaching girls that it's okay to like yourself and all that stuff. Okay, I would have been like, okay, that's a good movie. If it had been that they learned a lesson at the end that maybe the Kens are acting like they're acting because you've been oppressing them this whole time, so they're acting out in an extremist way, when you could have just met in the middle, and you understand that different people might, can be equal and they can have similar roles, or they might both be able to do like the Supreme Court, then I would have been like, okay, the lesson was learned. Then I like this movie. But they didn't.
Yeah. Barbie got two nominations for Best Song.
What Was I Made For is really good. What Was I Made For I can see. I'm Just Ken is a fun song, but I don't know. I mean, I like What Was I Made For though. But I'm just saying, I don't know. I don't get it. Well, it's okay because Billie Eilish got it.
I guess.
But it's not okay if he got it.
Yeah, pretty much. Because they're like, well, why would Ken get the nomination? I'm like, well, there we go. It's not a feminism movie. It's about men's rights. And shut up, Barbie. Know your place.
Well, they're all losing their shit. Hillary Clinton is fucking losing her shit over it.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton's angry. Yeah, so let's talk about some of these reactions. Hillary Clinton sends message to Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie following Oscar snubs. You're both so much more than Kenough. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I think it's a loss if Hillary Clinton starts sending
This is kind of telling. She's kind of telling on herself here. Greta and Margot, while it can sting to win the box office but not take home the gold, your millions of fans love you because it still hurts, right? That you apparently had the popular vote. I think she had the popular vote, but
here's the kicker, though. She's just using it to promote herself.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I don't care. Whatever. Honestly, when Hillary Clinton talks, I don't even listen.
Hillary Barbie.
It has nothing to do with her being a Democrat. I just think she's a bitch. I mean, it has something to do with her being a Democrat. I wouldn't have voted for her, no matter what.
Look how angry Stephen King is.
When isn't Stephen King pissed at somebody on Twitter? Let's see that. There's a shorter list.
If there ever was a case for why celebrities, and I thought these people were going to leave, weren't they going to leave? They were all going to leave Twitter. Like they were all going to quit Twitter because Elon Musk, that right-wing chud, who used to be one of us, but it's worse because he defected. He defected to the other side in their minds. But he was going to leave. He was going to leave, and Mark Hamill was going to leave, and all these people, they're terminally online, addicted to
smoke coming out of his ears.
They do. That's funny. It could just be hair.
Okay.
It could be ear hair.
Okay, I'll give you points for that. That's pretty funny.
He's mad.
Points for the AI smoke.
Stephen King blasts Oscar nominations after controversial snubs. Yeah, he's still upset that Pet Sematary wasn't nominated for Best Picture.
Are you serious?
No, I don't know. The Oscar nominations and movie-going tastes have pretty much parted company. That actually is true. I do agree with him because Barbie made a lot of money, but so did Godzilla.
But you know what? It's not been. It's never been. Well, you always, until recently, let's be honest, you'd have a big blockbuster film. One that did a lot of money at the theaters. I mean, a significant amount. The top grossing movies of the year. Very, very rarely were they ever brought in for Oscar nomination or consideration because they were more like for the unwashed lowest common denominator masses and not the nuanced performances that we like to pat ourselves in the back for. That's not a new thing.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on forever. I mean, George Lucas, Walt Disney. I mean, he was angry that he got basically a pat on the back for Snow White. It's like, oh, look at your little awards, your little dwarf awards, and isn't that cute? And he's like, yeah, nobody's taking me seriously. It's a Barbie movie. Of course, they're not taking you seriously. But you turned it into a feminist manifesto.
Of course, well, I mean, it's a Barbie, so they're going to. And people are like, to me, I love it. They're like, well, you just don't like Barbie. Bitch, please. Barbie was my favorite toy. When I was a kid, Barbie was it for me. I mean, I had a lot of other toys. I love She-Ra, I love Gem, I love all those other ones. But Barbie was my number one, most favorite toy ever. I had Barbies out the ass, and we used to collect Barbie, and I had all the holiday Barbies, the first, several years of those. We had glass cases full of Barbie. My mom still has her Tishan bubble hair Barbie from when she was a little girl. Barbie was where it was at. Loved Barbie. Heck, if I could get my crystal Barbie back, I'd be thrilled. I do have a Day to Night Barbie. That was my favorite. Or not Day to Night, Dream Glow Barbie, which was my favorite. I have Dream Glow Barbie. And I have my perfume Pretty Whitney, but she got all yucky over the years. I'm just saying, I loved Barbie. I went to this wanting to love it because I love Barbie. My daughter was so excited. We dressed up to go see this movie because we love Barbie. And then we came out of it like, what the hell was that?
I'm sorry you're disappointed. I felt the same way about the Bayformers Transformers movie. I was like, what the hell did you do? What did you do to Megatron?
I know, but they didn't put that one up for Best Picture.
Hell no. I mean, that's the thing. Even if Barbie is deeper than it was supposed to be because it's based on a toy franchise, at the end of the day, it's still a Barbie movie. It's still these people have to look at themselves for years to come, the judges, and be like, yeah, we gave Barbie the award, the Barbie movie, the award for Best Picture. This is where we're at as a society. It doesn't matter how good it is, and that's subjective. It's still a Barbie movie. It's still based on a toy line. They're gonna be like, we We picked Barbie over Oppenheimer. We picked Barbie over Scorsese. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
If a man had made Barbie exactly as it is, I'd be blown away by how this particular dude could understand women in society as well as he did. That's just it. It didn't. It was a picture of extremist feminism. Was what it was.
Well, that's why Hillary was so angry.
It didn't. Yeah, no, it didn't start out that way. At first, it was fun. It was like, somebody. It was obviously written for women, and it was like, especially when Barbie came to our world, and she was looking at people and being like, "Oh, you're beautiful," and noticing people that wouldn't think that much of themselves, maybe that, and then one lady's like, "I know." It was so great. And Ugly Barbie was fun and all that. They had such great start. And then it's not about societal, like America Ferrera's speech. Yes, there are parts of it that are 100% true. And you guys that get mad about it can just kiss my ass because there's some parts of it that were true. That being said, there was a lot of things that it wasn't nuanced. It was ham-fisted bullshit. And they over-exaggerated a lot of things, especially with the Kens, how they were treated, trying to say that's how women are treated. It hasn't been that way for decades. I'm sorry. I'm tired of this. Well, finally we're advancing the movement for women. It's like bullshit. It hasn't been for years. And they're like, women don't win, they don't get to direct blockbusters. They don't get to direct action films and some things like that because maybe they're just not as good at it, or maybe there's not as many women interested in it. And they're like, of course the women didn't get nominated. I'm like, well, it wasn't Oscar worthy.
So not to be sexist. I'm not trying to be sexist. But like, this is part of the complaint in comics right now and in video games is that there are different sensibilities usually between male and females when it comes to entertainment. And the reason that a lot of superhero comics, which were normally testosterone adventures in testosterone, have become more like rom-coms and stuff, is because they've had more women in mainstream comics. It used to be that a lot of times, manga especially was incredibly popular with women because it was, for women by women in a lot of cases, or they were able to kind of, bridge the gender gap there. And you had a lot of women writing, manga for just young adults across the board, But now they're like, okay, well, Batman doesn't just beat up people. Now Batman's got to, have an identity crisis, and and we've got Tim Drake dating his boyfriend. And, what I'm saying is like, there are definitely some differences.
I'm just.
Am I allowed to say that?
I probably.
Do you give me permission to say that? Can I say that?
Sure.
Okay.
It's a Barbie movie. Of course it's going to be a feminism, women first movie. Of course you want a female director on it. Because, I don't think a male director would be the wise choice for a Barbie movie.
I still want Michael Bay's My Little Pony movie. Somebody did a spoof of that.
Be hilarious. I'm just saying there's some things that women are going to be better at than something that men are going to be better at. And, and if you can say that about Barbie, that needs a female director, then the same can be said for other movies that probably would do better with a male director. And if you get mad about it, then you have a double standard. But in this case, yeah, a Barbie movie should definitely be done by a woman under the circumstances of where the story was going. But there were so many missed opportunities of lessons that could be taught. If you're trying to teach a lesson like, I'm trying to reflect that women are being treated this way, so we're going to have Kens treated this way, we're going to reverse it. And the thing you want the people to realize in the real world is, hey, but women can do everything a guy can do, most everything,
We girls can do anything,
right? Barbie. That was my favorite. Anyway, if you want to take that and run with it, then there has to be a lesson at the end that showcases that change. And I'm sorry, you didn't do enough to showcase it. You spent your whole time talking about how, trying to show that's an allegory about how the Kens are like the women in our world and how it needs to be changed. And at the end, you leave it pretty much just, it's the same, but they get a little bit of, and someday they might have as much power. That doesn't fix it. You just like half-assed it at the end just to get your whole little shoehorn, your personal belief thing in there.
Well, we can't let the Kens have too much power because it'll go to their heads and they'll think they're equals. And we can't have that.
Right, but your message is that we're supposed to be equal, then you fucking drop the ball at the end.
That's not the message, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, that probably should have been the message. Maybe that was the takeaway, but it's like, clearly it's like, hey, we're better than Ken, right? We're better than Ken. Ken doesn't deserve to be in charge.
I do agree with what she said. Maybe I'm just Barbie and you're just Ken, and that we don't have to be like connected. Like, he thought he had to be with her because he was made to be with her. And it's like, I am my own person. You're my own person. I don't have to be with you. You don't have to be with me. We can each be ourselves and we don't have to be together. And I like that because, there's so much pressure on people that I have to have somebody. And, if you really sincerely want to be with somebody, that's different. I'm just saying, I like the idea that, nobody has to be with somebody they don't feel comfortable being with just because the other person demands they be there. And I thought that was a good message because that leads to a lot of domestic abuse.
But they were literally made for each other. Ken was literally made to be man candy for Barbie.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I know. So he's like, what am I, without you kind of thing, because I'm here just because he doesn't have a job. The Kens were just there to be the cute on the beach for the Barbies.
Yeah, I don't think, has Ken ever had a job? I don't remember Ken ever having a job. I was always
they probably do. I don't know. I was always buying Barbies.
Not that I was ever that invested in Barbie.
I always assumed he was just a rich guy that had
that's what I thought.
Some kind of rich job because he always had he was always with Barbie and he always had outfits and he was here he's in his tuxedo, but Barbie's driving the Ferrari.
He's a spy or he's in the mafia. Oh my God, Ken's in the mafia.
Barbie's a doctor and he's her husband.
I don't know. Maybe he's just.
So I guess in that way you're
Mr.
trained.
Dr.
You're
Barbie?
trained to think that. But you'd think that the whole point was, if that was your point, that everybody's individuals and that and I get the points. And they're like, you don't understand the movie. No, I get the points. I get the points well. I just think that they dropped the ball on it. But that's
the beach ball.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there. It's just that Hollywood is literally having a shit fit. They still got 8 nominations, including Best Picture.
Right? It's not enough.
They're still mad.
Simu Liu, who's always mad about something, is
what is Simu Liu mad about something?
He was mad at us. We actually gave his damn movie a damn good review. So what the hell? Being involved in a small way gave me a window into just how hard Greta and Margot had to fight to get Barbie made, and how flawlessly they executed. Together, they started a movement, touched the world, and reinvigorated some. I won't argue with that. It was a huge hit.
I won't argue with that either. I know they fought hard to get it made. I know they almost didn't get made many times.
Well,
they did start a movement. Do I think it's the right way to go? Not necessarily. And they did reinvigorate the cinema when the cinema was dying. But I also think that it was because they were tying Barbie and Oppenheimer together. I think Barbenheimer had a lot to do with it.
I want to point this out. This is what's trending right now on Twitter, and this is for you. This is for you,
Henry Cavill.
Jesus is alive.
Well, it's going to be on
and
your
Henry
Twitter.
Cavill is right under that.
Are you logged in though?
I am logged in.
That's probably going to go by what you do.
I am not scoping out Henry Cavill.
I don't know. You keep talking about how you'd be into him because
I am Kenough without him. Okay.
Because he wears the wife beater and makes computers.
Yeah, but I'm not. The wife beater's that's very Freddie Mercury of him.
You look like Freddie Mercury in that.
He did look like, because he had the mustache. Didn't he have the mustache from the one movie? I was like, oh my God, it's Freddie Mercury building a computer. That probably does it for some guys. I am not one of those guys. Honest. I know my place beneath you.
Okay.
Ryan Gosling weighs in here. Criticizes Margot Robbie, Greta Gerwig Oscar snubs. Yeah, that would kind of be it. Wouldn't that be hard? Like, hey, yeah, I know I'm just the sidekick,
the
but
only one that gets nominated. Well, no, it's not the only one. America Ferrera did too.
Yeah, I know, but they're like, this is the feminism movie. This is the feminism movie. Ken gets nominated and Barbie gets shut out. Isn't that ironic?
I'm thinking back on the I Am Kenough song and the dance number. So it was pretty funny. I can see why that one probably got it. But
to say
what was I made for better though?
To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. Well, okay, so if he gets it, will he?
Of course they gave it to a man.
Of course they give it to a man. Will he accept it?
Well, in the movie, the men were the oppressed ones. No, he said, I am extremely honored to be nominated by my colleagues alongside such remarkable artists in a year of so many great films. I'd argue there weren't that many, but okay.
No.
That's why they got Best Picture nomination.
Barbie got the Best Picture nomination.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but I'm also incredibly honored and proud that it's for portraying a plastic doll named Ken. Again, that's funny because no one ever thought, No. But there is no Ken without Barbie. Wait.
Whoa!
That was the message. You can be just Ken and just Barbie. And there is no Barbie movie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie, the two people most responsible for this history-making, globally celebrated film. No recognition would be possible for anyone in the film without their talent, grit, and genius. To say that I'm disappointed that they are not nominated in their respective categories would be an understatement.
He continued against all odds with nothing but a couple of soulless scantily clad and thankfully crotchless dolls. Soulless. Oh, Mattel's not going to like that. Mattel's not going to like that at all. They made us laugh. They broke our hearts. They pushed the culture. They made history. I think don't cancel me, bro.
What I think is funny about this whole discussion about culture is I love it. On one hand, thank God we have this movie about plastic dolls to talk about, women's rights. But on the other hand, the same people that are bitching, they're all like, talking about how Barbie movie is so great, were the same people who are mad that Barbie's too thin or Barbie's too pretty or Barbie looks the way she does. And they make the more inclusive dolls and no one buys them. Like they said, they're always the ones on clearance.
That is true. And
I always just love Barbie no matter what.
And I think it's because a lot of times those dolls, in my personal opinion, were too niche. Like it was very like I think you can make dolls like that available, but I don't know if like stocking Walmart's like that might be something you want to do through the website since you make them in smaller quantities.
I was a fat girl and I wouldn't have wanted the fat girl Barbie. I mean, I would have maybe had a couple diverse. I know I would have picked different Barbies of different ethnicities because I always did. I always would pick dolls of different ethnicities because I liked having.
It's Barbie's fat friend Kathy.
I don't know.
She's always on a diet.
I loved having dolls of different ethnic groups and stuff because I always like to pretend like, hey, we're friends, and I was friends with all kinds of people, contrary to the narrative people have about me. And Pinky Boo is the same. Pinky Boo I would have bought Pinky Boo the body positive doll she asked for it. She didn't ask for it. That's just it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like that's the thing too. People always make those assumptions that like I want a character that looks like me, or I want to like, what I'm saying, and that's not always the case. Like, just because like you can like He-Man, not look anything like He-Man. You can be a totally different race than He-Man. Be like, yeah, I like He-Man because he's He-Man. I don't need to see He-Man.
Dad bought
He-Man or race bent He-Man or whatever. We can have different characters. And Barbie's with Barbie, and she's been Barbie. But she's also
different in other ethnicities. I mean, she's also been named other things, but she can be had Barbie in every color.
But
I'm just like I don't know. I think the whole outrage over this is stupid.
I just think it's ironic that Ken gets the nomination in the Barbie movie.
It is hilarious.
And
it just amuses
but Ryan
me.
Gosling's he's a good actor. I saw Blade Runner 2049, and I didn't think they could make a sequel to Blade Runner, and it was actually good. And
I don't think he was Oscar worthy either. I'm not gonna lie.
I haven't seen this.
The song was okay, maybe, but honestly, I can see Margot Robbie before I can see him. But
yeah.
but I've seen Margot Robbie in other things, and I think she deserved more for those things. I just don't think this was one of them. I really don't.
It's a man's world now, bitches.
No, it's not. It's not ever in Barbie Land, because someday,
she'll get
if they're lucky, they almost might have as much power as women in our world. And our women in our world don't have power at all. They don't have much power anyway. So.
Someday, if she's really lucky, Barbie will get a nomination for her own movie.
Yeah, why are they nominating Barbie for anything? Okay.
We're going to wrap this up. All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.